For the past 2 years, they are still like, why I send you to school and then you come back to help me to do all these physical work.
I'm your host, Michelle, and it's time to clock in.
So in every Malaysian household, there will be one essential ingredient that is always often overlooked, which is soya sauce. And I'm sure that all of you have a soya sauce brand that you prefer, that you would always reach out to when buying your groceries. But among all these big brands, did you know that we also have artisanal soya sauce? So today we'll be talking to Shirley of Mushi Soya Sauce, and we'll be finding out what makes her artisanal soya sauce so different from all these big brands out there with the technique that has been passed down through generations. Let's go clock in.
My name is Shirley. I'm from Mushi Enterprise. I'm a chief curator for the company. I call myself curator actually because Mushi is a French word for museum. I want to build a food museum. I believe that this anxious art is just like museum, something worth to celebrate and preserve. And why not one in Malaysia that really talk about the anxious art of soy sauce?
So I understand your technique for making soy sauce has been passed down for generations. Could you tell us a bit about the history and when it all started?
My family have been making soy sauce for the past 3 generations. So it's since my grandfather, he migrated from China. Here he tried to make more living. After that, passed to my father. Then we start to have a proper place to ferment soy sauce. Then I'm like, why not I make a artisan brand of it and let more people appreciate it. I used to work in a bank for the past 11 years. I need to take 90% pay cut. I live based on my saving. I actually took about a year and a half to prepare myself for like quitting the corporate world. I start to save half of my salary, cut down on luxury items, vacations, and all.
So earlier you mentioned that you left an 11-year job to join this business and to start this company. What made you want to do that?
To be frank, I always tell people that I have midlife crisis. It's like I want to have something different. And when I look at my family members back then, it's a hard work for them. So it's a waste that is not going to continue. That is no one that make it glorious. The challenge that I face is different with working in the corporate world, but it's much more satisfying. To be frank, actually the whole family, they are not agree for me to continue this thing. For the past 2 years, they are still like, why I send you to school and then you come back to help me to do all these physical work? Because making a soy sauce is labor work. For them, at first, they don't agree. Then after that, they see my determination. Okay, I can stay under the sun, I can move things. Then they start to teach me like, oh, you have to look at the bean this way, and then all the little skills that come in.
That's so interesting because usually it's the younger generation that doesn't want to carry on the tradition, but it's like the opposite now.
Yeah. And I think I bring more sense to my family to continue to do this. At first, they want to just close it down for another 5 years when they are not so physical well anymore. But now they are probably thinking, okay, maybe it can expand, do more. Yeah. That's why me and my cousin sister are back to the business and trying to modernize it. One of our dreams is we want to be a soy sauce that can represent Malaysia. That's why we have Pulau Melaka soy sauce. We want to represent Malaysia as a souvenir that you can bring back to your friends and family that are outside of Malaysia. Why we can have durian souvenir everywhere? Why can't we have a soy sauce as well?
That's right.
Actually, one of the things that make me want to say goodbye to my corporate world and then try to do this is every year of our family trip is about visiting soy sauce factory.
Seriously.
So I'm like, okay, why not I just like pull myself in and see what will happen. And I have visited so many food museums in US, Japan, Taiwan, and every restaurant that we went for dinner or whatever, sure they will taste their soy sauce and try to guess, oh, this restaurant is take from who and all.
Right. So I think if I was a restaurant, I'll be so stressed if you guys come because I'll be like, is my soy sauce okay? Be like, they're judging my soy sauce. Stress. Could you maybe walk us through the process from start to finish until the bottling of Mu artisanal soy sauce?
In making soy sauce, there are 4 ingredients: soybean, salt, water, and flour. At first, we will steam the bean. Then we will mix it with flour to cultivate the soybean mold in about 3 to 5 days. After the soybean mold is cultivated, then we will put into the urn with the salt water and put under the sun for fermentation. It takes about 6 to 9 months. Then that is first layer of soy sauce. Then after that, we will put in the salt water into the same urn for the second layer, third layer and all. Actually, for Malaysia, the weather is very good for brewing soy sauce.
Ah, okay. That's a long time to produce one batch of soy sauce. How much soy sauce can you actually produce within that 6 to 9 months period?
Oh, it depends on the capacity of the soy sauce factory. For us, we are still using the small pottery urn. Yeah, about 200 plus urn in our factory. So for one small pottery urn, the first layer is about only 100 bottles. Having said that, 6 to 9 months is the standard that we set for ourselves. Actually, about 3 to 4 months it can harvest, but for us, 6 to 9 months, the taste will be optimal. During the raining season, my cousin's sister, even though we are at home, sometimes she will just stay at the CCTV and look at all the urns, make sure they are safe, make sure they are good. So all the urns in our plant is like baby for us. So we have to take care of them for 6 to 9 months to produce the best tasting soy sauce.
That's so cute. And it's actually 9 months. It's like the actual baby. 9 months.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, right, in what ways did you help turn this soy sauce around and bring it to the modern age and making sure that you keep true to your family's tradition?
Actually, at first, we have this idea of selling the 100% first draw. My family, everyone does not agree with it. It's like, mu yan kam so, like give your weapon to the world. But for us, we think that nowadays, consumers are more alert and they are more health conscious, more higher demand on even soy sauce. So we start by selling 100% first draw.
So you mentioned something about first draw. What does first draw mean?
First draw is the first layer of soy sauce. So after fermentation is done, we extract the first layer of soy sauce. It's just like extra virgin olive oil, the first layer one. Yeah. So normally for past or even most of the soy sauce factory, they will not sell their first draw because it's like a secret weapon for them. And the subsequent production is not good or the quality is not so good, they can add a little bit inside to make it better. So for us, we are 100%, the whole bottle is first draw for the consumer.
So it's like the purest form of soy sauce that you're providing to your customers lah. So coming into more of the soy sauce aspect, what makes your soy sauce artisanal and what sets you apart from all the other soy sauce out there?
We are artisanal because we are small batch productions, 100% handmade. We give 100% first layer. That is artisanal. Actually, for us, our main goal is just want to make the best tasting soy sauce.
I see. I understand that people can't buy your soy sauce off the shelves in like places like Jaya Grocer or Big and all these kind of things. What are the reasons behind that decision?
The soy sauce, I categorize it as a lifestyle product more than a grocery product. So at the moment, we are not in any grocer. It's a small batch productions. We are still using hand mix. So if we really on the grocer and at other shelf, probably we don't have the cup of tea. It's just like wine instead of a pure grocery product.
Oh, okay. So I understand it's a bit more niche now, right? It's not just like a consumer good that it's like manufactured and everything. Why did you decide to go for more of a traditional style of brewing soy sauce rather than going into more mechanical industrial methods that will probably have more revenue in a sense?
I mean, for business, number one thing, we have to look at revenue to sustain the whole thing. But for me, it's more than money. It's really an art or a skill that I want to preserve it for the next generation to come. That's why we have two brands. For Moo, it's really the 100% handmade traditional way. So another one will be more quantity driven, which is for restaurant and cafe and hotel. So that one is like a revenue or a cash generations for me to do this Moo brand. Yeah.
What makes your soy sauce, or just like Malaysian soy sauce in general, so uniquely Malaysian?
I would say it's the taste of the sun. Because we are tropical country, so our soy sauce plays under the sun like one whole year long. But for other country, there are 4 seasons and all. I think we are still very niche and not many people know about us. So for the next 5 years, we want to come up with more innovation, educate people about what is the real soy sauce, and of course sell it to outside Malaysia.
So if people would like to find your artisanal soy sauce, where would they be able to find it?
Go to our social media or go to our website www.muses.com.my.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shirley, for allowing us to clock in remotely with you. Do you have any last words to say to the people watching?
Not all the soy sauce are the same. Pick up the bottle and read the ingredients.
That's right. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure that you lock down those follow buttons, and if you want to binge watch us, check out the episode where we clock in with a couple who went from bankrupt and living in a storeroom with 2 small children to starting their own successful business in their late 40s. And if that's not good enough for you, check out the episode where we clock in with one of our friends who got her hand smacked by a bartender just because she was Chinese. That's all for today. This is Michelle, clocking out remotely. Bye!